Property manager Carlos de Oliveira is set to appear in court in Miami this morning on the allegations he conspired to help the former president obstruct the FBI's investigation.
Coming up, the GOAT of fighting wildfires. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:04.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Ugh, your lunch is still in here from the last day of school? Ugh, everything is rotted.
Let's make our windows.
Ugh, did you learn that from Mom?
Yeah.
Well, you make a great point. Tell you what, let's clean out your backpack and then we'll...
Kajinatawa from Pella.
Precisely.
While we can't stop the discovery of those rotting surprises you often find at the bottom of your kid's school backpack, Pella's limited lifetime warranty on wood windows and doors makes it so that you'll never have to worry about rotting windows again. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, make payments as low as $35 per window and $78 per patio door. Experience Pella's nearly endless possibilities for maximum design flexibility, featuring dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, and more. With Pella's limited lifetime warranty and payments as low as $35 per month per window, $78 per door, there's no reason to wait. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Hey, it's 620 WTMJ's Brian D. from my guy, Dr. James Michaels and Oconomowoc Dental Care. Well, it doesn't feel like it, but back to school is right around the corner. The time to go to the dentist is not in September, it's right now. Get those teeth for yourself, your kids, your family, all tuned up and ready to rock for the school year with my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. Whether it's a simple cleaning and exam, a more complex dental procedure, a teeth whitening, an implant, Dr. Michaels and the team at Oconomowoc Dental Care will always make you as comfortable as possible while you're in the chair and give both you and your family an amazing smile. At Oconomowoc Dental Care, affordable quality dentistry is no longer a dream, it is the reality. Dr. Michaels' fantastic staff can help you out with a no-interest payment plan. We all have to go to the dentist, so don't put it off any longer. Get it done before the end of the summer. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. Call his friendly and caring staff today and make an appointment with my guy, Dr. Michaels.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 8:07.
The prospective buyers for Northridge Mall have backed out, and with security at the property set to stop at the end of the week, Milwaukee Business Journal's Mark Cass telling WTMJ, once again, no plan for this vacant plot of land.
So now the city's stuck here. They're going to see where to go next. They still have the raise order, which is in court, and it should be, hopefully, a ruling soon on it. The one issue that's going to be interesting is that security on the site. So then who will pay for that? The city? Will the owner of the site still? Who knows?
Security on the site and raising the millions of dollars it will take to raise the property. The abandoned mall has been the site of arson-related events, a number of them over recent years.
At least 16 people displaced in Fond du Lac County following a weekend apartment fire. It happened Sunday at Meadowlark Apartments in Taycheedah. Calumet Fire Chief Brian Schussman says one person had to dive out of the building from a second-story window in order to escape the rapidly growing fire. The American Red Cross is assisting those displaced residents.
An unlikely hero in California's wildfire fight.
As California heads into its peak wildfire season, one city in Los Angeles County is taking a natural approach to fire prevention. The city of Glendale is placing 300 goats around the city to graze on dried-up vegetation. Leslie Charles and her toddler came out to meet the goats over the weekend.
Wildfires are such an issue in California, and so any way to naturally help that and just help the cause is a great thing.
Experts say goats have a big appetite and can easily access terrain that machines can't. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
I love this. I just had this vision of, like, all right, what are we going to do about these wildfires? Release the goats.
Bring in the goats.
Bring in the goats. Are you sure? I'm sure. Desperate times.
Anything.
8:08 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Knowing how to manage your investments wisely to avoid your nest egg being eaten away by the tax man, all legally, of course, that's what sets us apart.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
FinancialStrategiesInc.com.
Interested in a career change with purpose and have a passion for giving back to the community? Choose a fulfilling career that helps other individuals, small businesses, and local nonprofits. Ritz-Holman is a privately owned CPA firm looking for talented CPA professionals who are dedicated to being an active, vibrant member of the Southeast Wisconsin community. Ritz-Holman maintains a genuine interest in each one of their clients and team members. Join the Ritz-Holman team and learn more at ritzholman.com.
What's that sound? That's the sweet sound of you, small business owner, not having to worry about cybersecurity.
Sounds nice.
U.S. Cellular is offering cybersecurity protection with unlimited data for $29.99 per line.
Does that include protection from phishing?
Of course, unless you mean like the kind. Get cybersecurity protection with unlimited data for $29.99. U.S. Cellular. Built for business. Built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Earn points every time you shop with Fleet Rewards. 500 points gets you a $5 reward. It's free and easy to sign up, in-store or online. Sign up today and start saving with Fleet Rewards at Fleet Farm.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlawn's Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlawns.com when you're due for service.
Let's get an update on the roads at 8:10 here, Debbie.
All right, northbound on 43. Still going to be slow from North Avenue all the way up past Keith. And then you're back on the rakes just south of Hampton Avenue all the way up past Bender Road. We had that earlier broken down vehicle around Good Hope Road. That has been cleared, but those delays are working themselves out. Southbound side slow from Silver Spring all the way down to about Locust. We've also got northbound on 41, an accident right about at Blue Mound Road off on the right shoulder. And we also have, the right shoulder is blocked. Basically in the same spot. I think there might be 2 accidents there, so that's why we're going to see some delays right out of the zoo interchange all the way up past Watertown Plank Road. They're still working on this other accident on the ramp from Highway 16 to 94 eastbound, so we got some backups already on Highway 16 through that point, as well as 94 eastbound, slowing down from about Grandview Boulevard all the way through to about Blue Mound Road, where that crosses there. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Mostly sunny and a high of just 79 degrees today with some afternoon haze moving in. Mainly clear skies tonight, low down to 63. And for Tuesday, sunny and hazy and a high of 82 degrees. Our Milwaukee temperature now up to 69 under sunny skies.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's your host, Vince Vitrano.
Jeff and Fox Point, they should put the goats on top of people's houses like Al Johnson's in Door County.
There you go.
In reference to the goats that are eating all the vegetation out west to prevent wildfires.
I have actually said out loud to my wife, should we just get a goat on our yard to eat all the invasive weeds that grow and pop up? Because they do that in town here. They've done that at different state parks and whatnot, brought in the goats.
Release the goats!
Yeah, and had them take care of it. They take care of all
You weren't serious, though, right?
I was not, but if...
Harboring a goat? Is that even legal where you live?
Just hire one, hire a goat.
Hire a goat. Goats for hire.
Have a herder come in and bring in a goat or two to eat all the invasive stuff and then leave.
Important to note, the goats don't actually defend. They're not repelling the fire.
They're not wearing
They're just eating the fuel.
Yes.
That would cause the fires.
Correct.
Right? So I'm interested in this Cardi B story on a number of levels. One, because it's yet another performer who feels that she was attacked on stage by her own fans. Mm-hmm. But there are nuances to this one, including the fact that it sounds like the fan didn't mean it.
Maybe, I don't know. So yes, another musician gets something thrown at them on stage, but this time this musician, Cardi B, fights back.
Cardi B threw her microphone at a fan who hurled a drink at the rapper while performing in Las Vegas this weekend. The crowd cheered her on as security removed the fan. The video has since gone viral. But she's just the latest in a growing list of musicians to get hit with items during concerts this year. Harry Styles, Drake, Kelsey Ballerini, even BB Rexa, who needed stitches after getting smacked in the face with a cell phone. Police in New York City later arrested that fan. They're now facing assault charges.
Okay.
Monica Ricks, CBS News.
So a number of questions here. First of all, when this is sort of a tangential issue that's come of this, Eric, if she threw the microphone at a fan in the crowd, how do we still hear her?
Yeah, you
you
still hear her singing and rapping there after she threw the mic because it was voice tracked. That was a lip sync, which is unfortunate. One of the posters on social media was saying, "Yeah, everyone was just listening to an iPad apparently." So anyway, that happened. So she threw the mic and the song kept playing. You think the engineers could help her out there, right? Like pot the song down or do something.
Rick, hey.
She's not holding
Kill
the mic
playback.
anymore.
Rick.
But in one of the videos, I mean, she flicks her wrist, the fan. So, I mean, she either was really excited or was trying to maybe spray water at her as a way of celebrating her. So, I don't know, because the fan immediately, in one of the shots, of the video shots, she's saying, I'm sorry. And they're like, nope, you're gone.
To do this.
But either way, they were hauling her out of there, as they should, because this seems to be an epidemic now of throwing stuff at these artists.
Yeah, and so not excusing the behavior, but maybe the fan just temporarily lost her mind, right? And was like,
yeah, either way. Gone. You can't be throwing stuff.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Cardi B clearly frustrated because obviously it's top of mind for all these artists because it keeps happening. This time it was water flipped at somebody, throwing a mic at him. I'm assuming she got the mic back.
Well, that's the other thing. Like you and I work with engineers, have for decades. They're the people that keep us on the air, the people that handle all the stuff. Over the years in television, radio, whatever, I've always respected those guys and the work that they do. And on top of that, it's kind of like, hey, listen, I don't care what happens to you. Get that mic back. Right? Good for you. Get that mic back.
Wasn't that funny, though? Like, because we were, in one case, the guy threw a cell phone, as you heard in the story there. The guy threw a cell phone at somebody. Hey, we're going to throw a mic back at you then.
Yeah, right.
We're going to hit you back.
Here's what I got for you.
I don't know how you fix it unless it becomes what you're talking about. You kept talking about bringing back the chicken wire from Blues Brothers. If that's going to end up being what happens in some of these cases, like if you're going to artists, they need to perform because that's how you make your money now by touring. You need that. You're not making your money on the album sales anymore, just because of the way the world works. Unfortunately for an artist, so they are going to continue to tour.
Yeah,
but they don't want stuff thrown at them. So what do?
I think that moat that exists between the performers and that first front line of audience goers is going to grow larger. You already have like a decent space, like a security
where
space.
The security personnel usually sit in there.
Where some very large people stare back out at you in the crowd and just kind of try me. Right? So that maybe has to grow. I don't know if it's a physical barrier that ultimately goes up, but I do think like it still amazes me how close we are to performers of many different kinds. I've talked about NBA still having floor seats. Like, that still blows my mind. You're right on top of a guy inbounding the ball.
Hey, money's money.
Right
if you're going to pay for those seats,
but that's
let
also
someone
true.
sit there.
You ever sat courtside like that or on the court?
Fairly close, and it's amazing.
Right?
It's incredible how fast everything goes, and it's a whole different world down there.
It's super cool. At one time, a buddy, his dad had corporate tickets of some kind, and I went, with him, and so you're on the floor. The outside of the speed is also the things that you hear. These guys like talk to each other, what they're saying to each other while game action is going on. That's the other part that you can't replace by being close.
I remember reading the book regarding the concussion protocols and all the issues with the NFL, and one of the things they said is that you do not realize how violent the NFL is until you're on the sidelines and you see it that close, like how just it kind of gets filtered when you watch it on television or from the stands.
Yeah.
But in this case, what do you do? Well, how are you going to stop this? Like, what needs to happen for someone not to throw something at an artist? And these are fans. These are people that love the musicians.
They wanted to be there.
Like, what are you doing?
And they paid for it.
What are you doing? You're that close. You're that close that you can throw water at the musician, and you're doing that? Like, those tickets ain't cheap.
Cardi B's playback is still on. Right? Meanwhile, see, it goes back to this is why we can't have nice things.
Right.
8:18 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Did you hear that? It can only mean one thing. The Wisconsin State Fair is back. As you're enjoying the fair, be sure to stop by the Bank 5-9 studio on the heart of the State Fairgrounds to see all of your favorite hosts broadcasting live. It's WTMJ Live at the Wisconsin State Fair. All fair long. See you there. And now, time for the Matzik Morning Minute. Take it away, Greg Matzik.
The Milwaukee Brewers fall out of first place in the NL Central after being swept by the Braves in Atlanta. 8-6 the final on Sunday. Brewers now trail the Reds by a half game after tonight's series opener against the Washington Nationals. Craig Counsell hopes to have good news on the pitching front with a pair of starters returning to the rotation in August.
We hope to get Woody back, Miley back. We have off days in the month of August, so all that's going to factor into starting pitcher decisions.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 5:30. Baseball's trade deadline is August 2nd. Week 2 of training camp begins today for the Packers. It's unclear if or how much Jordan Love will play during the preseason. For now, it's all about building good habits and growing as a leader.
His consistent approach and the work that he puts in, those guys see that, and I can promise you everybody wants him to have a lot of success this year.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. Packers begin the preseason August 11th at Cincinnati. And 16 teams remain in the Women's World Cup. The United States next takes the pitch Tuesday against Portugal in the knockout round.
Matzik Morning Minute, sponsored by Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. It's worth the trip.
Greg Matzik for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, where the summer road trip sale continues. It's where to gear up, score enticing offers, and get more for your trade on a new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC, or GM-certified pre-owned model. Experience Team Holiday's award-winning guest care and simplified buying approach. It's the stuff that makes fans of drivers from all over Wisconsin, and I'm one of them. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
We want to decrease your pain as fast as possible. When we inject our powerful, FDA-approved anti-inflammatory and cushioning medicine precisely guided to the root of your pain, in most cases, relief in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees is a reality. For those who go through our entire process, we can very much control and reduce your pain while increasing your quality of life. Thousands of Rejuvenex patients maintain their pain relief with semi-annual to annual treatments, proven to reduce inflammation, to make pain a lot more bearable. Some providers may charge up to $8,000 for similar treatments. At Rejuvenex, because we're in network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, your out-of-pocket expense could be as low as $400 or less, or nothing at all. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics, where you can find pain relief. Really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Checking in with Debbie here at 8:22.
All right, we do have this accident on the ramp from Highway 16 to 94 eastbound. Just watch out for those delays heading through that area. Once you get past the accident scene itself, you should be just fine all the way into the Marquette interchange. We got northbound 41. Actually, there's two accidents. One just north of the zoo on the right shoulder. The other one is just north of Wisconsin Avenue off on the right. Other than that, delays along southbound 43 from Silver Spring all the way down past Locust. The northbound side slowing down from North Avenue up past Keefe. Back on the brakes at Capitol Drive up past Hampton Avenue. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
On our way to a high of 79 degrees in your Storm Team forecast for today. Mostly sunny. Looks like we got a good one. Should see some wildfire smoke moving back in. Brendan Johnson said it was going to be high-level stuff, so not the kind of stuff that's getting down here to our level.
Just noticeable.
It's breathing issues, right, but you'll see it.
Yeah.
Be that red sunset once again tonight. Low down to 63 tonight under mainly clear skies. Pretty good stretch of weather here. Temperatures all topping out in the low to mid-80s through the week. A couple of stories I just want to update here on this Monday morning, things that have happened recently. This one broke before, late Friday morning, early Friday afternoon was a story about Northridge and the fact that the the folks who were going to save the city from itself here and take that property off the city's hands and actually do something with it, they're out because they're tired of trying to jump through the city's hoops and meet the demands that the city had for the property, because for some reason Milwaukee thinks that property is ripe for some sort of development that in the last 20 years no one's ever proposed, but they're still holding out for something better than what was offered here.
So this developer who had local ties, right?
Yeah, the founder has local ties. It's Phoenix Investors.
Yeah.
And let me get it up here. The founder, Frank Crivello, founder and chairman of Phoenix Investors, he's local.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to turn the Northridge property vacant for 2 decades into, I think, primarily storage, right?
Which is not super sexy.
It's not. I absolutely grant you that. And could it maybe perhaps be something else? I guess, but what else is out there?
What was interesting, though, weren't they interested in, like, keeping the structure up?
Yes, and that's part of the problem here. The city wanted them as a condition of them purchasing this land and redeveloping it. The city said, you have to tear the place down.
Raise it.
And Crivello's like, that's not our plan. And so that was one of the sticking points. I think Crivello was on record as having said the building still has good bones, to which I joked there may be some bones in there.
Jeez.
Of various varieties, but I don't know about the bones of the structure. But they were the ones, this is where I get it. The city frustrates me. It's like you don't get to decide what other people are doing with their money. It wasn't city money. This is a private investor saying, I'm going to put my money into this property, and there's only so much that the city can say to you, well, you have to spend it this way and this way and this way and this way. And finally they're like, forget it. We're out. And I get frustrated with that. You've got Century City, which is sat largely vacant for decades. And there again, too, the city stabbed itself in the back. They had somebody was going to come in. Strauss Veal from Franklin was going to move its whole operation down there. They were set to go. And then there was noise in the Common Council, and they withdrew the proposal, and now there's nothing there.
Well, what did Crivello say? He had a very profound statement regarding that property at Northridge.
Here's the quote in the Milwaukee Business Journal. They were the ones who broke the story, our news partners at the Milwaukee Business Journal. We only got involved because we believed this was a problem and a project we were technically and financially able to solve for the city. We didn't do it because we needed another project. And so here's a guy, local guy saying, I can help with private money. Come in here. I can take this off your hands. It's no longer going to be a blight. It's no longer going to be a magnet for crime and vandalism and all these other things. Maybe this isn't a 4-diamond resort or some huge, massive employer that you have visions of, but I don't see anybody else proposing that for you, Milwaukee, so I've got this. Nah. So he's out. So that was the one story. Then you had over the weekend EAA Air Venture with 4 people killed in a single day. Not part of the air show or anything, but obviously they were in town in Oshkosh near Whitman Field for EAA Air Venture. And you were asking, you're like, boy, it feels like we report on crashes and various things very often. If you take into account that Whitman Field does become one of the busiest airports on the planet Earth for about a week there.
If not the busiest, right?
A couple of statistics that I pulled from EAA. This was from last year, most recent time that we have statistics. More than 10,000 aircraft arrived at Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh and others in east central Wisconsin. So you get 10,000 additional aircraft of all kinds coming in there. At Whitman alone, there were 18,684 aircraft operations. So I'm guessing takeoffs and landings in like about a 10-day period. Average of approximately 121 takeoffs or landings per hour when the airport is open. So there's just a ton of traffic. Statistically, you're going to have some accidents. Also, we forget, the first word in EAA is experimental.
You're right.
Some of these aircraft are like a guy who turned a kite into something that he can fly with a propeller on it in his garage.
Jeez.
So when that goes down in a field there in Omro or somewhere near Oshkosh, and very often people are able to walk away from those. This one, tragically, had 2 separate incidents. A plane went down on Lake Winnebago, 2 dead there, and then the other was 2 rotor aircraft.
Right.
Some sort of more homemade than the other. One was described as a gyrocopter and the other a helicopter. They collided, and you had 2 people who died in that, some others injured. So tragic as it were, it doesn't diminish that tragedy. We should take into account that for the number of aircraft and the masses of people, this is largely a very safe event. They do a good job up there at EAA. Sad that that was something that overshadowed that final weekend. 8:29 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
When you're at State Fair this year, be sure to check out the Bank 5-9 Amphitheater, State Fair's largest free entertainment venue. Featuring acts like Kids from Wisconsin, Here Come the Mummies, and Pat McCurdy, Bank 5-9 is a proud sponsor of the fair and a proud supporter of the local Wisconsin communities they have served since 1859. So grab your bucket of lemonade or beer, something on a stick, and join Bank 5-9 between August 3rd and the 13th. Member FDIC.
With inflation affecting so many families, the super affordable Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford is better than ever. One of my favorite places, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Mondays are family pizza day. Enjoy a huge 18-inch pizza for just $14.99. Easily feeds a family of 4. Pizzas like this at other restaurants, I don't know, $22 maybe or more. It's new from the Mind Chef, and it is amazing. Every Tuesday, the Mind Chef presents their all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. It's the best Tuesday dining value anywhere. An all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for just under $9.99. Shut the front door. Your kids and grandkids can safely play in the huge game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area. So wherever you live, it's worth the drive to the Mind Chef today for the all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. Kids always eat free if they're under 3. The Mind Chef in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh just off the interstate. Reserve your table today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet, just $9.99. It's mindchefrestaurant.com.
Let's face it, selling a home is stressful, difficult, and costly. The repairs, the showing your home to strangers, the months it takes to get to closing. And then what do you do with the 20 years of belongings you've accumulated? There's an easier way, and you have nothing to lose to try it out. Grandview Homes will give you a no-obligation, fair cash offer and close on the day you choose. We buy your home completely as is, no repairs whatsoever. Take the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. Call or visit grandviewhomes.com.
At Staples, school savings are always in session, from art supplies and essentials to the latest tech. In stock and priced low. School on, save on at your local Staples store.
Traffic is sponsored by Harwood Place Senior Living. Learn more about Harwood Place Retirement Living's newly renovated apartments and updated pricing options. Visit harwoodplace.org or call to schedule a tour.
8:31, I'm Adam Roberts. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Monday, July 31st. Your top story, continuing the investigation into 4 deaths near EAA.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and the accident on the ramp from Highway 16 to 94 eastbound finally cleared out of the way. Delays are still working themselves out, so keep that in mind. Got a couple of accidents on 41, one just north of the zoo and the other one just north of Wisconsin Avenue. Both of them are out of traffic on the right. The main delays that we're seeing, though, are on 43. Southbound slow from Silver Spring all the way to Locust. Northbound is slow from North Avenue all the way up past Keefe. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Possible wildfire haze returning to the area later this afternoon. For right now, sunny skies. It's currently 72 degrees in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, investigations continuing this morning. 4 people dead in 2 separate plane crashes near the EAA Air Venture in Oshkosh on Saturday.
The pilots in both crashes had the required ratings and certificates. EAA spokesperson Dick Napinski.
The NTSB will be taking a look at that as far as pilot experience in that type of aircraft in each incident.
Napinski adds it's been years since a fatal incident happened during the air show.
What happened on Saturday is extraordinarily rare. Matter of fact, talking to a lot of the veteran people, we can't remember the last time there were 2 incidents in the same day, much less 2 that had fatalities.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Braden Ebing witnessed the crash firsthand while on a fishing trip with his grandfather. Telling NBC 26 TV in Green Bay, he saw the moment the T-6 Texan aircraft hit Lake Winnebago.
I thought they were doing a trick at first. I heard the plane start coming out of the sky and it started spinning. And I told him, and all of a sudden it just made a big splash. And then more and more boats just came circling around it.
Both crashes Saturday involved recreational aircraft flown by pilots who were not involved in the air show. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Department working closely with EAA as well as the National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration in the investigation. Around 2,800 We Energies customers still without power this morning as crews work to make repairs following severe weather late last week. This comes as a hot apartment with no power is being called the possible cause of an 84-year-old Milwaukee man's death over the weekend. Police say Alton Smith was found by his niece laying on the living room floor next to his oxygen tank. The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's report saying the apartment was, quote, fairly hot and had no power, possibly due to the severe storms on Friday night. Autopsy results are pending this morning. At least 16 residents are displaced in Fond du Lac County following a weekend apartment fire. It happened Sunday morning at the Meadowlark Apartments in Tachita. Calumet Fire Chief Brian Schussman tells TMJ4 News one person had to dive out of the building from a second-story window to escape the rapidly growing blaze.
Our first arriving engine crew did a primary search of the first and second floor, went back in to start fire suppression at that point, and I had to pull them because the fire had advanced so rapidly across the entire top half of the structure.
The American Red Cross assisting the displaced residents. And Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Patience Rogensack has retired after serving on the court for the last 20 years. She was the fifth woman to serve on the High Court, where she held the title of Chief Justice from 2015 to 21. With Rogensack's departure Friday and Justice Janet Protase, is swearing in Tuesday, the court will have a liberal majority for the first time since 2008. Time for news about your money with your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. At the opening bell this morning, we're in the green. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 13 points to 35,472. The S&P 500 an early 4 points up to 4,586. And the NASDAQ Composite up 17 to 14,333. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com. Click on the Get Started button today. I'm Adam Roberts from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Times 8:35.
Putting the super in Supermoon. That story next.
Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee has partnered with the iconic musical duo of Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons from world-renowned rock band Kiss to bring their newest hit to town, Rock and Brews Restaurant. On August 1st, rock and roll over to Potawatomi for the grand opening of Rock and Brews and satisfy your need for great food, great music, and most importantly, a great time. For more details, visit paysbig.com.
Doesn't it seem like you never have anything to wear? That's why I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Whether it's a designer top, jeans, an adorable skirt, or cute accessories, I always seem to find something I like. And at prices I love. Gently used women's clothing and accessories for far less than you thought possible. At St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd in Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Does your knee pain keep getting worse? How about that pain in your shoulder or hip or back? Well, don't let them tell you steroids and surgery are your only option. Take my advice now and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all natural advanced regenerative medicine. They're helping people here in Milwaukee every day with these amazing natural treatments that restore and repair damaged joint tissue. It's like turning back the clock. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body to stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints so they can work like they're supposed to. And there's zero downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting medical breakthrough, and patients here are getting real lasting relief and saying no to surgery and drugs. If you have pain due to injury or arthritis, this is a remarkable option that you need to check out, and the consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics now at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
8:38 on Wisconsin's Morning News. News that the Vice President is visiting this week.
Yes, Vice President Harris will be in Wisconsin on Thursday. Going to be joined by the Commerce Secretary in Pleasant Prairie. White House says they'll talk about the White House's investment in broadband and affordable connectivity. Then the VP will travel to Milwaukee to deliver remarks at two campaign receptions, and that'll take place again Thursday, the 3rd. So that's also the first day of State Fair. So maybe we have a politician sighting at the State Fair.
She's not going to State Fair.
No?
I mean, that's not without precedent. Certainly they want to be around people,
Yeah.
but if it sounds like she's got a packed schedule.
Here's some other big news for the week. August's first full moon, also known as the Sturgeon Moon, will shine brightly in the sky tomorrow night.
I love when they name these things.
I don't know why they
I
do.
get that from Susan, because Susan every time Niznansky's out there with this is going to be the blood moon or the scarlet moon
or the full moon or the pale moon, the moon pie.
Yeah. She'd look up all the stuff on it.
The August 1st full moon, the second of 4 consecutive supermoons, which occur when the moon's orbit is closest to Earth at the same time the moon is full. Supermoons are about 16% brighter than an average moon. Now, it's called the sturgeon moon, basically because sturgeon are around nowadays. Sturgeon moon, the giant sturgeon in the Great Lakes and the lake are most readily caught during this part of the summer. So,
does anybody? I didn't know people even still fish for sturgeon.
I thought they speared them.
You spear them for 2 weeks on Lake Winnebago and Lake Poygan.
Not in August.
Right? No.
So, well, sturgeon moon it is. And then some of the other moon names, well, we have harvest moon. That'll be the last one. That's going to take place in September.
We have a blue moon coming up.
Yes. August 30th, there'll be a rare blue moon. However, it has no blue hue. It's just a blue moon.
So I'm going up north next week.
Ooh.
And you love to stargaze when you're up north but this is not good news for us if this is, granted, it still won't be a full supermoon at the time, but if it's closer and brighter, even
you'll see
at
some
half
cool
strength.
Stuff, yeah.
Well, no, but I don't want to see so much moon then. I want the moon to back off so I get some more stars.
You don't want the light pollution of the moon.
Yeah, harder to see the stars if the moon is
you.
shining brighter than usual. All right, trip canceled. I'll be here all next week. 8:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Life is just getting started at Three Pillars, Wisconsin's top-rated continuing care retirement community. Located on 300 beautiful Lake Country acres, Three Pillars is taking reservations for new high-end active adult residences. With 4 styles to choose from and amenities like a supper club, fitness center, spa, pub, dog park, trails, and gardens galore. The choice is easy as you start your next adventure. Learn more at threepillars.org.
As the old saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. When it comes to retirement planning, this couldn't be more true. Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist, here to remind you to take the time to plan. A 1-hour retirement planning consultation with our fiduciary advisors will help you get started on the path to your dream retirement. If you're close to or already in retirement and have $750,000 or more in investable assets, give our office a call today at 262-522-4040 or visit thekowalway.com.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Roofing and exterior work are really tough jobs, and at Semperfi, we're proud of our people. And when you work with great people, you deliver great results.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
Checking in with Debbie here at 8:43.
Well, yeah, we got a pretty good ride shaping up for the most part. No real delays on 41 north or southbound, but we do have a couple of accidents still being worked on the right shoulder. So one's just north of the zoo. The other one is just north of Wisconsin Avenue, just a little bit further north. So be careful with those. The main delays we're seeing are on 43 southbound. Yep, that's right. From Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive, almost to Locust. The northbound side's going to be slow from just north of North Avenue all the way up past Keefe. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
.43 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Mostly sunny today in your Storm Team forecast with some haze moving in this afternoon. High of 79 degrees. Our low down to 63 tonight. So windows open under mainly clear skies. Right now at 70 degrees in Milwaukee. So we were talking about this story earlier about this freshman lawmaker new congressman, former Navy SEAL from western Wisconsin, so think the La Crosse area. This is Wisconsin's 3rd congressional district. Derek Van Orden was in the news recently for screaming at a bunch of Senate pages after hours at the Capitol and dropping a bunch of F-bombs on them and being really aggressive. He's taken the brunt of the criticism because while you may argue that the pages were perhaps somewhat out of order, they were in the Capitol Rotunda
on their last day.
On their last day, taking pictures in there, and apparently some of them were on their backs, pointing the cameras up. And Congressman Van Orden took exception to that. Thought,
oh, there he is swearing.
Yeah, there it is. Thought they were being disrespectful in the space, but instead of walking up to one of them and saying, "Hey guys, let's I've got a tour coming through here, and let's be a little bit more respectful," instead just started screaming at him.
There's more.
It was about that much. So, not to belabor the point, but as I said earlier, I thought if you want to have that conversation with him, fine, but I thought he was out of line screaming at these kids. They're 16 and 17 years old, and also probably among the best young Americans that we have. They've gone there to serve in the Senate in this capacity. Mm-hmm. They're probably, politically minded young people. They're probably pretty smart.
But they're taking selfies, Vince.
Right. Yes, terrible. So, nonetheless, to give us a better idea of what Senate pages do, I told you one of my buddies from high school. Actually, one of my longest friends, Brian Randall, and I went to 4K together in Wauwatosa. Fellow 1992 graduates of Wauwatosa East. And I remember when we were in high school, Randall was a page for Senator Herb Kohl, and he is on the line with us now, the Tri-County Contracting Hotline. Morning, Brian.
Good morning, Vince. How are you?
What year was it that you were a page for Senator Kohl? Like, what year in school were we?
Spring. We were juniors in high school. It was the spring of 1991.
So what did you do to get that job? Like, I remember there were a bunch of hoops that you needed to jump through. I mean, not everybody gets that opportunity.
I did. The way Senator Kohl ran the page program is he did ask for people to fill out an application and express their interest. And I remember having an interview at his home district office here in Milwaukee. But there are other pages that were appointed essentially through patronage. Either their mom or dad was a big donor and it was a big thank you. Most interesting to me is sometimes those pages were the ones who really didn't want to be there, and that was a different type of experience. But I wanted to be there. I had heard of someone else from Wauwatosa who was a house page at a neighborhood picnic, and so I applied through Senator Kohl and was fortunate to be selected.
So what do high school pages do? What are the expectations?
First and foremost, we still have to go to school. So the Senate page school and the House page school ran from about 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. each morning. So we would get up, and we had a dormitory about 3 blocks off of Capitol Hill in basically the cover of darkness, and head over to school and go to school for our high school classes. And then by about 9 a.m., we would report to duty on the floor of the Senate. I was a Senate page, so I went to the Senate side. My House page friends, they went over to the House side. And we would do things to prepare the chamber for that day of business. Things like passing out the calendar of business. I think they still do it in a paper form, setting up the desks, getting podiums ready. If a senator arrives and wants to speak, they all have different heights podiums in case they're tall, short, or whatever their style is.
Talking with my friend Brian Randall, early 1990s, he was a page for U.S. Senator Herb Kohl. So... Okay, so you said various other duties. Like, were you running soda, or like go get me this? Like, is it sort of like an what we would call an intern in any other office?
Coffee kid.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes. So
whatever they wanted,
senator
right?
Is whatever they wanted, within reason, of course. And remember, we're only 17, so there's only so much that we can get them. But mostly water.
Hey, kid, go get me a beer.
Couldn't do that. But on the floor of the Senate, when they're speaking, obviously some speeches are long, and they wanted water. Well, there were probably about 7 different kinds of water, and there was a chart in the cloakroom. The cloakroom is the private room off of the floor. And we would, first off, we had to memorize all of the senators' names. We had to know who was who. And then we'd look up their name on the chart and get the right water, with ice, without ice, sparkling water, whatever. These are the kind of mundane things that we were doing, but yet very important, because there was a lot of important business going on the Senate floor. So those were the kinds of basic tasks, but if an amendment were proposed, there would have to be, of course, 100 copies of an amendment passed out very quickly. Sometimes, I thought most interesting, notes from the presider where whoever's presiding on the majority side, they might write a note to some senator speaking too long or who's up next, and the pages will be running those back and forth on the floor. So some stuff very interesting. Some things were just very basic.
How often were you screamed at and swore at?
Honestly, I don't think I was ever screamed at and swore at, although I did pull my scrapbook off of the bookshelf this morning, and I do have some pictures of the Capitol Dome in a very dark lighting. So I don't remember laying on the floor, but I did take pictures of that beautiful dome, and I don't remember anyone yelling at me back in 1991 when I did that.
So that was a thing, though, right? Y'all went out there and took pictures and stuff?
Well, we had all access passes to the U.S. Capitol. If the Senate was in session and as late as 11, 12 at night, we would still be in the Capitol. We would, in triage, they'd let certain people go home, but we had access passes to all sorts of areas that says authorized staff only because we were part of the Senate day-to-day functions. And certainly I took that very seriously, tried not to abuse anything like maybe laying on the floor and shooting up, but there were some very beautiful areas of the Capitol, whether it's Statuary Hall or that dome, or some of the things that we were able to see. The joint session, when they ended the Persian Gulf War in 1991, I think it was my 5th day there in early March of 1991. That was quite remarkable to just go to see a joint session on the floor.
So whenever in any business, in any line of work, anywhere, if you get a peek behind the curtain, sometimes it's not as romantic as you think it was, right? Or think it's going to be. So when you got that peek behind the curtain, what raised your eyebrows the most? What surprised you the most?
I think, and remember, this was 1991, the level of decorum was quite good, even amongst the parties. So Senator Cole was my sponsoring senator, and he was a Democrat. But the Republican senators, of course, they had their own pages, and there was a good collegiality, there was great camaraderie and true respect at the time. And I believe it still is a base level of respect. But that peek behind the curtain, the appreciation for the history, the traditions of the body, of the nation's capital itself, but also the parties trying to work together. At the time, the Democrats were in the majority, so we had more pages. I think it was 15 to 12, but they do keep score in those types of respects. But otherwise, the appreciation for history and just the decorum, I think, was something that I really appreciated and was glad to see from the inside. It wasn't always partisan bickering.
Talking with my friend Brian Randall. We graduated from Tosa East together. Brian, when we were juniors in high school, was a page for Senator Cole, or for the U.S. Senate, sponsored by Senator Cole. All right, I don't know if I necessarily need you to name names, but you're certainly welcome to. Who, when you got there, were the other pages like, oh, Senator Schindland in here is not you do not want to get in this guy's way?
You know, I think most of the senators were pretty good as related to the kids, the high school pages. Again, we were all 17 years old. We certainly would observe some people and their staffers maybe not being quite as nice or somewhat rude, but there definitely were a number of senators that were on the good list that people really enjoyed. And of course, my sponsor, Senator Cole, he always, even when he ran, he was one of us, a person of the people. A good memory I have, actually 2 memories with Senator Cole, was he let me do my homework one day on his desk at the Senate Hart office building. And so I have a picture of me just doing math problems on his senator's desk. And then he also, being the owner of the Bucks, I did have a chance to go see the Bucks play at, I think it was the Washington Bullets at the time was their name, but I saw an away Bucks game. And so Senator Cole was always good to the pages. A number of other senators, Senator Dodd was one of the favorites. Senator Gore at the time was in the Senate, and even Senator Biden. I have a picture of him with all the pages just posing. And so most of the senators were very straightforward and quite nice. On the Republican side, Senator Dole was there in the Senate, and he was just, with some of his military service and history, a fascinating individual.
I wonder how many senators are still there.
Yeah, a bunch of them are probably still there, hey, buddy?
There are a few, and sometimes I'm surprised that person is still there. But
that guy was old when I got here.
Right.
Brian Randall, one of my best friends from all of the years, 4K and on. Great. Thanks for joining us this morning, Randall. I can't believe it took me this long to get you on the radio.
My pleasure. Good talking to you guys.
Right. Thanks, buddy. 8:53 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Are you ready to step up to the plate and test your skills?
Hey, bada, 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 swing, bada.
Join Steve every Friday